Okay, I think we have been really hearing a lot of detailing about the whole banking, financials, the technologies, frameworks. So I thought of picking up something which is more relevant for all of us. Yeah, and this is where probably the dilemma starts as part of our day-to-day working, where we all are having our own tasks to be done. And think from a communication perspective, what has happened over a period of time. We have seen that okay, we used to have a nice phone on our desk, then we got into mobiles, then we also have now Microsoft Teams, Zoom, all of those. WhatsApp, many organizations do not accept, but still all of us are using WhatsApp as part of our business communication, not just personal communication. So the whole idea in the old days was that okay, we are going towards unified communication. What has happened exactly reverse. We actually are using so many different modes of communications, and that's exactly the idea of today's my thought process of sharing with you in terms of okay, where are we leading to in this whole topic of how the communication happens in an enterprise domain, what technologies we should be really harnessing to improve it further. Yeah. So let's have a look at it. And I'm able to talk on this with a confidence because I'm coming from Mitel. We are a long-term player in the industry towards the enterprise communication. As part of my own job, I get to interact with a lot of customers across the Asia Pacific region, specifically banking, financial services, insurance sector. That okay, how do the organizations really use the enterprise communication towards the benefit? Yeah, and then that's where the topic is really targeted for. Many of us probably you know us may not be as Mitel, but as part of Unify, because we have been interacting with you as Siemens Unify, delivering you very, very reliable communication equipments, specialized technologies for the treasury, etc. So that's where my experience as well as the company standing is coming from. I'm going to take you through a few of the topics on this part. Okay, so the idea that here was that, okay, we used to have a lot of communication systems, then came collaboration. Contact center as part of an important topic, especially for the banking services, how we are going to interact with our customers. In the old days, it used to be just voice. Now we have really migrated towards all of these chatbots and on AI assisted stuff. But at the same time, we are also seeing that, okay, this is becoming a combination of digital and physical. Yeah. Most of the customers, they want you to interact via the digital mediums, online chatbots. But at the same time, there are many customers who are still coming to the branches, trying to address their concerns, etc. So it is a combination of communication which needs to be envisaged, digital plus physical, that how these customer interaction experience will happen as part of this. And one more area, which is the whole mission critical. Think about situations where we are talking about uh, a very, very critical business like a treasury. Yep. In a bank, this is such a critical area of operations compared to rest of the operations like the retail banking part of it. That okay, this has been kind of an isolated area within the banking operations, and you actually need specialized technologies to cater to that requirement as well as the users who are operating in this domain. So that's a portfolio that we bring as part of catering to the banking and financial services customers. This whole discussion is always ongoing, whether it is on-premise or cloud or hybrid. Lot of the banking customers actually have taken a way ahead, trying to evaluate the technologies moving towards the cloud. Then we realize that okay, probably moving everything to the cloud does not make sense. We need to identify critical versus non-critical, and then move some of the loads back to the cloud. My experience is that even the communication industry goes through the similar thought process and similar cycles. Yep. Everybody earlier thought that okay, now we have tool like Microsoft Teams, which is kind of almost penetrated in almost all our organizations, and now we do not need anything else. At the same time, this has been around for last 2-3 years. How many of you have really removed the telephony systems? You still have the phone on the desk, and then that's where it makes you force you to think about that. Okay, how am I going to really create an experience for a user like you and me, actually we are trying to deal with so many different modes of communication. For our internal communications, we use Microsoft Teams because that becomes easier. I can reach out to my colleagues. I know they are available, not available. I can quickly send some text messages or share files, etc. But when it comes to an external communication, talking to our customers, talking to our vendors, then we still try to go to the nearest phone available or pick up a mobile phone and still dial through that. So actually we are making our own life complicated with all of these multiple modes of communication, and that's where the real piece of technology as well as thought process is required in terms of how we are going to integrate it, how we are going to make it easier for user to make it faster from a communication perspective as well as one common user experience. Yeah, I'll show you a few examples around this. Okay, so in terms of an offerings that we talk about as part of the, from a Mitel perspective, specifically targeted towards the banking financial. So we actually cater to the different departments or the business units within the banks, whether it is the insurance, the front end piece where you are actually physically interacting with the customers. We are talking about some of the customer departments. We are even talking about the digital interactions which are happening with the customers. Various ways we are trying to help the customers in this particular area, and the areas are different. It could be as simple as a telephony systems which is required from a bank, treasury operations, a specialized communication solution which is required for those operations, because traders who are working on the trading floor, they have a very different need of communication. It's not like you and me who are using most of the times our laptops or the desk phones for our communications. There is the complete different mode which is happening there. So each of this particular functionality catered via a specialized technology. That's where our expertise is coming from. Okay, let's have a look at it in terms of one of the example. I was trying to make you that, okay, how we can make it simplified. So let's imagine a scenario. What happens is that as part of our day-to-day life, you get an email from, let's say, a customer. You understand the subject, and now instead of replying to that email via another email, you want to actually talk to the customer. Okay? What do we do as part of this today? All of us, I mean, this is, you can relate it with yourself also. You have a laptop screen in front of you, you read the mail, or at the bottom of that particular email, you have a signature with all the contact details, including the phone numbers available. After that, what we are doing is that we are still picking up a phone and then dialing that 10-digit number. Why? You have a powerful tool like Outlook available. The piece of technology that we are bringing here is that, okay, use the same Outlook. You have a number available on your Outlook below. Just highlight that number with your mouse and you will get an option to dial. Okay, so that makes it easy. Don't waste time in dialing 10-digit numbers which is not stored on your directory, or try to pull up a mobile phone just because of that. Okay, you can actually make the whole Outlook as part of your phone communication. Okay, so that's one way that you can really improve the individual productivity, make it easier for user to operate as part of day-to-day task. Another example in terms of what's happening is that this whole topic of Teams. Yeah, I was explaining you in terms of how we are making it complicated for internal as well as external communications. How is it easier if we are able to make even external calls to our suppliers, to our friends, or even at home on the mobile phones, on the landline phones, using the same Teams interface? That is also going to save you a lot of time, money. It is also going to make it a common user experience for you instead of making it so much of independent devices, modes of communication, etc. That's where an easy way to integrate Microsoft Teams as well as the traditional telephony systems which is available with the organizations. Okay, I was talking to you about this whole topic regarding the treasury, and you can understand that, okay, this is a typical way the traders operate, right? You have so many screens in front of you, but at the same time, you also need a specialized communication device to communicate. Because a normal telephony systems, contact centers, these type of technologies do not fit here. The trader is actually doing buying and selling. A lot of this institutional trading is actually happening on voice. Many of us have a misunderstanding that trading means I can have some application and buy and sell some shares. This is a large scale institutional trading, and that's where a specialized communication device for having lots of conferences for people to jump in and jump out of the communication for taking quick decisions. Yeah, here everything happens on a voice real time. You do not have time to send emails and confirm that, okay, can I buy these shares at this particular price? By the time you get a reply, the deal is already gone. This happens all real time, and that's where special communication devices are required in this particular area to cater to this type of a requirement. Okay. Coming to another area where we deal with some of the establishment or the processes. I mean, think about it, many of us coming from IT background, how easy it is for us to really understand if something has gone wrong. Many a times it is user is really informing us, or user is making complaint escalations, or sometimes it is about you come to know via some other modes. Is there any way that we are able to cut down this particular process, try to pick up a source of the information? Let's assume a scenario that there is a cyber security attack which has taken place and 4 important people needs to be informed immediately. It could be a notification. Most of the times you'll think about, okay, let me call somebody. Who are these 4 people? Can I take them into a conference now? This is where every second and minute you are going to save, it's going to really have a lesser impact in terms of the problem itself, as well as the negative publicity which goes along with that. And that's where we are trying to address this particular challenge via a special solution where you can actually take such standard inputs, create your workflow, inform the relevant people in form of standard SMS, WhatsApp messages, or even in a high critical areas where the challenge is much more higher, you can actually have a pre-recorded messages to be sent to the people, or create a quick conference. That, okay, a specific conference, you don't waste time in identifying who's available, who's not available, on which device is available. There is a preset conference, create a workflow, the system will dial out everybody and get you connected. Okay, so this is something which we are seeing as a need for the current, and then we are catering to these type of requirements. Okay, so one more area what we should be really looking at is this whole topic of the compliance. I think this is becoming more and more detailed. It is becoming more challenging also to come to the conclusion in terms of, okay, how do we really comply to that? From communication perspective, again, you need a trustable vendor who's really able to comply to these type of requirements, especially in the which are applicable, the regulations which are applicable into the banking financial services type of an industry. So that's one area, again, very much closer to our operations, where whole development happens with the background of all the upcoming communications and the regulations as part of this. Okay, just to give you the India part of it, right? I mean, some of this I might have talked about the global perspective, but in India, again, there is a significant presence, what we have done, as well as some of the success which specifically targeting towards this. For example, Treasury. Yeah, I explained you about the operations of Treasury. 15 customers in India who are using the specific solutions for the critical communications under the Treasury. Yeah, that includes 3 of the top mutual funds, 3 of the top 5 private banking customers. All of them are part of the solutions which they use from Mitel Unify as part of their critical communication solutions. Okay, so just to give you the idea that some of the customers who are part of this particular, I have picked up something which are focused on the banking side of it. Of course, we do cater to the other segments of the market, but as we all are coming from a similar community, I wanted to share you something on this part. And with this, I also wanted to give you kind of a takeaway that, okay, when we started thinking about this whole enterprise communication, I think whole thought process is to make it simplified for both of us. Yeah, make it easier, productive, instead of getting bogged down into the too many devices, too many networks, and how to reach out to the people. Yeah, that's the crux of the problem that we are trying to solve. We do have a live booth for some of these technologies. You can see it live, touch, feel, how does it work, etc. Happy to help you on this particular topic. Thank you so much.